Been up for 6 hours and I've only had 4 cigarettes. That ain't bad. Went to church this morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is wherever you are. And welcome back to my dead mama's porch. Patio. Back patio. Lovely wood that the Murphy's and I, mainly the Murphy's, helped finish. It's embarrassing how much I let her do because I thought she wanted my back to heal. But it's all water under the bridge now. And now, unlike the past 20 years, I can actually sit Indian style and it's rather pleasant. Just being able to sit like normal people can sit. Just knock my chair off. I'm trying to ash it. And being able to stand up for longer periods of time. I can't stand still without it getting inflamed, but if I pace around, walk around, move around, I can stay on my feet for maybe a few hours at a time. I've been praying a lot lately. I've set up a kneeling altar in my house. Because I feel completely helpless right now. Like overwhelmingly helpless. Surprised I'm not already crying. Just from fucking how helpless I feel. I wasn't prepared for the situation that I'm in. I had no way of seeing it coming. Except for to be thinking of the person I love more than anything as a shitty person. That's the only way I could have prepared for it. I always thought there'd be at least some sort of a counseling period before it ever came to this. But I gotta shut up because I have to make this video private. Because I want to talk about things I need to talk about. So, yeah. I can't talk about the things I need to talk about. Certainly can't go into any more detail about any of that stuff that I was just vaguely alluding to. So I've been praying a whole lot. Now I want to go over the old prayer so I can show how I pray and how it relates. It's Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. If you don't know what that means, if you can't interpret Shakespeare, did my eye just glow for a second? That was creepy. Did you see that, Lacey? I am not I am. I have never even said thinks he's Jesus without the quotes. I have never confused myself with a manifestation of God any more than everybody is a manifestation of God. I'm just El Primero. The first one. And the truth is, I don't know whether I'm good or evil sometimes. But I know how to pray. And I know that all that's good that's in me is because of answered prayers. Because I see the strength that other people have, that other people lack. And I thank God that I've had the strength to endure what I have without losing faith. Even when I have no hope, I still have faith. And in some ways, psychologically, faith can be detrimental to someone in a morbid state of mind. Have you ever listened to Lost Lonely Boys? How Far is Heaven? That's a borderline suicidal song. I bet you, I would bet money and be a rich man that multiple Christians who have killed themselves have listened to that song and cried to it. And people do. People think they can ask God for forgiveness and take their own lives. And you know, maybe God does have mercy on them, but maybe not. It's not a maybe I want to fuck with. Because no matter how much you pity yourself, no matter how much you feel sorry for yourself, you have to be aware of the existence of neurochemical imbalances. And that you get them when you get like that. You can't think clearly when your brain is flooded with emotions. So making that kind of a decision, so not to say that it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem, which it is in most cases, but it's certainly a permanent decision made in a temporary state of mind. Because even as destitute as I've ever been, living in my car, even as much as I would sometimes despair over it, sometimes I would just take joy in that as little as I had, I had enough. Just barely. Always just barely enough. There was never a time where, when I was living in my car and I ran out the battery, I couldn't sit there with the hood open and have somebody offer me if I needed a jump start. Just don't forget that there's good in this world. It's really easy to. But you got to remember that there's good people out there suffering, enduring it, and they keep going, and that you have to too. Because one day maybe you will be doing better, and someone might need you. Maybe one day I'll be doing better, and I might be able to provide something like I used to. Let me wipe my eyes before fucking things start falling on my face. So before the Lord's Prayer, it says, when you pray, go in your room and shut the door behind you and pray in secret to your Father who is in secret, and he will reward you openly. That doesn't mean you have to go in your room. When you're learning how to pray, you should go in your room. When you pray for things that you want, things that you need, your daily bread, the air you breathe, not when you pray because you're in mourning or grief or heartbreak or even guilt. Pray for redemption for yourself through all these things, for all these things. At church where people can pray for you. In a group where people can pray for you. With someone who loves you, let them pray for you. There's nothing wrong with that. But it has to be somebody who knows how to pray. And to learn how to pray, you have to take the Lord's Prayer into your room and pray it and figure out for yourself what it means. But I can tell you, you still have to figure out how it applies. But I can tell you the basic version of it. It's God, I confess that I want this thing for myself. I see how I want it for myself. And I can only promise you that if I have this thing for myself, that I will commit my life to you, and I will use this thing, this blessing that you've given me, whatever it is, for your glory. I will not see somebody hurting and ignore them. I will not see somebody lacking faith and fail to lift them up. Because this is all that I can give every day, even when I have nothing. And I don't ask you for this thing, God. I don't beg for it. I know that if I need it, you've already planned to provide it since before I was born. And that in your time, and only in your time, only by your power alone, will I accomplish this. Will I have this? Will I get what I need? Whatever it is. To survive, even. And you know, you can say amen, but think, I love you. Bones. What you doing, big puppy? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? This is a cool dog here. Huh. Yeah, he's a good boy, huh? Dalmatian and Akita. Isn't he beautiful? This is a cool dog. Huh, Bones? Huh, Bones? He's a good boy, huh? Yes, sir. With what? Okay. Apparently I need to give Dave a hand with the dog. Yeah, Bones is just a cool dog, isn't he? Ah, shit, I lit another cigarette. But that's how to pray, man. When you want something and you want to go whining to God about it. That's the proper general format. You need to put it in God's hands and acknowledge that it's always been there. Can I get an amen? Does anybody know what I'm preaching here? Does anybody hear what I'm saying? You can't get on your knees and beg please. You're just acting like a sleaze. Because you got to understand one thing about prayer. God doesn't need you to pray. You need you to pray. Because what it does is it gives you a fucking reality check. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Gives you a reality check. By the time you get to that amen at the end, you've released your burden. And you put it in God's hands. But all you really did was give him a high five, because that bullshit belonged to him to begin with. Just tag him in. He's in your corner waiting for you. Tag him in and get back in there. Sit on ringside for a little while if you have to. Ah. I really love you guys in the audience. I love the people that watch. Even the ones who don't like me, I know you like me a little. Otherwise, you wouldn't keep watching. Would you? Even the people who've been paid to insult me. Oh, they like me a little. And if you don't know enough about me. Because if you ever were in a position where you needed somebody to save your ass, you'd want somebody like me there. Because I bend the fuck over backwards for complete strangers all the time. That's just the kind of man I am. Because I know that if I go asking God for anything, for another breath, for another year to live, for food, for a cigarette, if I ask God for anything, and I do all the time, for everything really, but if I ask him for anything, I better damn sure be ready when he asks me for something. Anybody hear what I'm preaching? Especially for all the times that I've been selfish and self-centered and narcissistic. How many times I've failed to be there when God asks me. I better, when it occurs to me, I better do it. Every single time. Even if I get fucked over. Even if I get screwed. I'm not going to stop. I can't. Because I owe him one. And again. to infinity. I owe God everything. And even if I can't remember the times that he's proven himself to me, I know that the flag on that data point is 1. It's not a 0. That shit has happened. I wish I wrote down every single time that it happened. And if anybody's going to take a recommendation about something I wish I could have done but haven't done, if a journal seems too hard, the time you want to keep a journal is when you start handing your life over to God, when you go through hard times, when you pray, all the times that a miracle happens because of that prayer. Write it down. Even the disappointments, write them down. Keep a log of that spiritual journey, so that if you're ever lacking faith, or if you ever want to make a YouTube video about it, you can remember. Or even just to tell somebody else, just to be a witness to somebody. And because when you write something down, you remember it better anyways. If I would have written them things down, I would have probably just remembered by just having it better ingrained into my memory. I used to be a whiz kid once I made a cheat sheet. And I didn't have to use the cheat sheet. I would just make the cheat sheet. I would write it down in a small little geometric pattern, all the little notes of shit that I needed to remember. And by the time I'd finished, I didn't need to use it. Maybe a little. But I would remember the things. Like, oh yeah, I just wrote that down, huh? I gestured with my hand like I was writing something, but I didn't do it high enough on the camera. But anyways, still can't believe it's over. Just don't want it to be. I think even if I got my fish store, even if I had everything I wanted, God, it's in your hands. She's in your hands, God. Take care of her for me. And if she comes back, it's because that's your plan. And if she doesn't, it's because that's your plan. And I just need to accept that either way. I'm just having a little trouble. And I don't have any damn tissue out here. Fuck. Bye, Lacey. Didn't realize Sean Lee was here. Oh, there he is. Shit. First one to say hello. Howdy, Mr. Conway. I should have known when I saw 0 people watching and the like button was already clicked. Excuse me. Well, I guess I'm going to leave it there, folks. Hope you enjoyed the little lesson. Hope somebody finds this useful. Especially if you're going through a bad time right now. And if you are, the best way to comment on something, get my attention, send me a message, is on the Easy Reefers Facebook page. I don't have it set up right now to where I have enough people monitoring the comments, and I've got them on by approval only, and there's thousands of comments, and my nerves are so bad I don't want to go look through them because a lot of it's nasty shit. And I apologize that people don't wind up seeing their comments because of that. But if you need to get to me, if you need some advice, just need someone to tell you they fucking care about you, hit me up on Facebook. And there will be other people there too. Anyways. I thank everyone for watching. Don't forget to click the like button and make sure you subscribe. Y'all take it easy, but don't take it all. Peace.